Have you ever wondered how to 3D print your own logo? Let me show you. In this video, I'm going to be using Adobe products, but you can always use other products online. Just know that you're probably not going to get the best quality. So in this case here, I've got a PNG on the left side and a regular JPEG on the right. PNG means there's no background. JPEG means there is a background. If you have a JPEG, the first thing you're going to need to do is turn it into a PNG. And for that, I'm just going to show you quickly how to do that. I've got it pulled up in Photoshop right here. I'm going to zoom in. I use the magic wand tool and I just select the background like that. And we are going to delete the background and then delete that eye. Just as a precaution, I always add an extra layer, make sure there's nothing selected, add a black color, and I just want to make sure that there is no colors that I'm missing, just like that. Super small, little unnecessary, but might as well edit that out because why not? There we go. We've got our image now. I'm going to remove that black background. We're going to click File, Export, Export as PNG, and you are going to end up with a photo just like I showed you right here. Once you've got this, you're going to take this and drop it into Adobe Illustrator. Now, the reason we want to go to Adobe Illustrator is because Adobe Illustrator is the only platform that can export as an SVJ file. And an SVJ file is essential when dropping it into your Tinkercad platform or whatever 3D printing platform you really use. So in this case, we've got the picture pulled up. This is a PNG, even though they add a white background onto this. And we are going to want to use our selector tool, select the background, come up to Window, and make sure that the image trace is selected so that you get this window right here. Select your image, and at the bottom, you're going to see Preview right here. You're going to hit Preview, and it's going to invert the colors. Just turn it to black and white. You can change that back to color if you really want to. Black and white is the easiest. And we're going to have tracing result. The three most important areas you want to focus on here is threshold, paths, corners, and noise. And depends on the image that you're using, but we'll use the teeth as an example. I want to select a few more paths to make sure that everything is good, and then we'll raise the threshold, and you can see that it's starting to trace a little bit more of the image rather than less. So if we go less, of course, it's not going to trace anything, and then we can slowly bring it up, and you can see as the platform starts to trace it pretty much to a T of what the PNG is. Now, once you've got that file and you're happy with the trace, we're going to zoom out here and go to Object, and we want to hit Expand. Now, what we're doing here, and we can select Object and Fill, click OK. What we're doing is we're expanding it now from the traceable object to what our PNG was. On your right side layer selection, click below so that you can drop down all these menus until you get to the very end, and you're going to see two different backgrounds, or two different white colors. You've got this box and this box. These are unnecessary. We're going to throw those away, and I have to shrink my menu or window here just for a little bit. Okay, you're going to select these two boxes, drag them down to the trash, and now you've got the traced image. And you can see here, if we zoom in, all of these little blue dots are showing the lines and curvature of the traced image that we just made. Now, once you have your traceable image, we are going to click File, and we are going to export this file as, and then we're going to make sure that the format is selected as SVJ. We're going to name it whatever you want. In this case, we're just going to do Logo 1. Click Export, and when you get the SVJ options, the decimal point you usually want between 2 and 3. We're going to select 3 in this case and click OK. And that should take you over here, and now we have our SVJ file. What we're going to do now is open up Tinkercad online. That's my preferred method to build out some items on my 3D printer. And we are going to upload this file. So here we have Tinkercad open. We've started a new project. We are going to hit Import up on the top right, and we are going to be able to drop our SVJ file directly into the platform. We're going to click Import, wait for it to import. And now we have our logo file. And in this case, we really don't need to make that many edits other than the size. And for my purposes, I'm actually going to add an NFC chip on the back of this. So when people tap their phone onto it, it'll take them directly to the website. So the goal of uploading the logo onto Tinkercad is to build out a shape on the back of the logo that is 25 millimeters round, for the NFC chips here. And in this case, there really isn't that much space. And to match all of the other logo prints that I'm doing, and I'll show you just a few examples right here. Here is a example of the pieces, and then on the back you can see I've got NFC chips. So here we want to add a background so that we have some space for this logo. So I'm going to click this little red square over here. I'm going to click above it, drag this out so it's just the right size of the logo. And then I'm going to use the mouse, right click, and I can shift around. And we are going to look for this box that measures the height. And I'm going to drop this to 3 millimeters. And then the logo should be 5, which it is, which is great. So now that the logo is properly sized, I'm going to center it, and I'm going to shrink this box to make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. I also want to point out here that if your logo has separated letters or symbols or icons, it's essential that you add a backdrop to it. Otherwise, when you 3D print it, it's not attached to anything and they're just floating objects. So in this case, this logo is all one piece, so we don't need to worry about that. But because I want to add that NFC chip on the back, I'm throwing that square on the underside of the logo. Now here, now that we've got this, I need to add the space for that NFC chip. So I'm going to right click my mouse, drag it all the way down to see the bottom, and I'm going to click this cylinder icon on the right side. And this one has the lines through it, meaning it's going to be a hole. I'm going to make sure that the diameter is just over 25 millimeters. That's the size of the NFC chip. Drag this up, and we are inverted 26 millimeters. So we're going to drag this up, and I'm going to put this at 1 millimeter inverted. And it's going to look just like that. We're going to zoom out now, and we have our completed logo that we are now able to bring into our Cura or whatever printing software that you prefer. So we're going to hit export. We're going to make this an STL. Now we have our STL, and you can see as I shift it around the shadows of the icon, and then the back there is that circle that is 1 millimeter indented into the image. So we're going to take this and drag that into our Cura machine. Once you've dropped your logo into Cura, make sure that you set your settings specific to your printer. Definitely recommend looking it up if this is your first time. Otherwise, you likely already have a good setting built in for your printer. We're going to hit slice right here, and it's going to tell us that this setting is going to only take us 24 minutes to print. So I'm going to click Save to Disk, drop that into a flash drive, and bring it over to my printer. Okay, we have our 3D printer here. I'm using the Elegoo Neptune 4. I've dropped the file onto the USB drive here, and I actually just went to prepare already and just hit PLA to start warming up the board. We're going to go to prints. I'm going to go into the file here, and we are going to start the print. And now it's just a matter of waiting.